Tell a little bit about how you see it, how the industry was before COVID, which was this big, event, I guess, in our industry, and after COVID.
I think nothing changed. A lot of people I had a podcast during COVID. If I thought it would affect the industry, and I said that time it will not.
Yeah.
Because the most important thing of doing business is face to face.
Welcome to Bureau Behind the Scenes, where we uncover and discuss trends in the European exhibition market with some of the most experienced event profs in the business. And today we're going to be talking to Roger van Kempen, who's been with Bureau for about 6 years. He has literally decades of experience in the industry and also has this unique experience of running his own company before coming into the industry, which gave him kind of a unique perspective on the technical aspects and the building. And so we're going to discuss a little bit about your career and how it's progressed, and then get your thoughts on the industry at large, given that you've seen so many projects or so many venues over so many years. So I'm excited to dive in. So let's start with where you started. So let's start just before you entered the industry. You had your own tiling company, right?
Yes,
and
that's correct.
Maybe tell us a little bit about what you were doing there and kind of how that helped you transition into the exhibition industry a bit.
I think I had a kind of a rough start. I was not a good student or not disciplined, so I did it backwards.
Okay.
Did like low education, started quickly to work, built my own tile company. There was an accident. A friend of the family said, "Hey Roger, if you want to make money, I would be a tailor. They just steal the money out of your pocket." So I started as a tiler, and then I wanted to start very quickly in 1991 my own company. But the government said that time there was not self-employment. You had to have your papers. So I had to do my papers, so back to school, get everything done, and in 1991 I started my own company. But in the beginning I was alone, had to compete against big companies, and had to find a way that people know you, that you have a job.
And so this is interesting because it also kind of feeds with you coming to Bureau. But so when you were doing the tilings, I mean, tell us a little bit about when you were trying to really distinguish and you were trying to help the clients, and developing a space where you could do this.
Actually, it's a trick I still use. I think it's very important to have a good idea of the needs of the client. Then also step into his shoes and try to think how he thinks, because then you feel the needs and then you can bring him the right offer. Yeah. So in the beginning, I didn't have a showroom. I didn't have something who made a design, and they had a room and they wanted to have a bedroom. Then you go there and you think, okay, you do some questions, ask them about color, what type of client it is, the family, the needs, do they have kids? And then you go there, and I had like 3 wall tiles and 3 floor tiles. And 9 out of 10, they choose one out of those examples. And it was very funny, because all the big companies had big costs and a big showroom. And I went there with a book and some scratches and with my tiles. And it always worked. And this gave me also the confidence that there is a solution for everything.
Yeah, I think that's so fascinating, because I mean, you really, from the fabric of the first career experience, you really had to, and very nimbly, because you were against big competitors, find out what the client needs, put it in a way where they could make an easy decision, and move that forward on your own volition, because you started by yourself.
Yeah, from scratch, from nothing.
Scratch. Yeah,
so from school, and then I was 19 years old and started No, I'm lying. I was 22 years old. I was 22 years old and started my company.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I have a company. Ooh. And then all the complications came. But the nice thing about having a company or being now in this situation is work with people,
Yeah.
face to face. And I wouldn't do it differently.
Yeah. So, okay, then we had the great financial crisis. Of course, that put a lot of businesses under a lot of pressure. So you transitioned out of this business, you sold it. And that was when you started in the exhibition business, as I understand, or you started in the interior and exhibition business first, right?
It was kind of coincidence. When I had my tiling company, I grew. Then after a few years, I had my showroom, and then you have you expand your network.
Yeah.
And there was a guy who made hotels, restaurants, etc., etc., and they needed also tiles. But now it was more the tiling had to fit into the concept. So you started to concept thinking.
Aha, okay, that's really interesting.
And when you were together with the guys and they said, oh yeah, we are fixing the closet, then you had to help. And so suddenly I was not only a tiling company, but was also helping with the carpet. And then I expanded the company as well. So I did tiling and interior.
And so that's a natural progression into, so they were, and then this is also a company that did pop-ups, or was that the next?
Yes,
the next step?
yes.
Okay. So then you you started basically from the ground up, from literally the blocks and pieces of these concepts. Then you're working on creating the actual concepts in this type of environment. And then eventually that started to grow into exhibitions, right?
Yes. It's the story is too long to tell, but it was like tiling, then it was a kitchen, it was a fireplace, etc., curtains, flooring, the whole stuff. It changed a bit from a tiling company to interior company.
Yeah. And then when you transitioned to exhibitions, you immediately went to sales, right?
I applied for a job. I sold my company in 2010, I think, or 9, doesn't matter. And I applied for a job as a project manager because I thought I was more like from the tiling. I worked as a project manager. You know how it is. You are this artist with the sticks and the plates. And I thought, okay, now I'm a PM. Yeah. So I applied for a job as a PM, and they said, "Yeah, we don't need a PM. We need a sales guy." And I think, "Yeah, I am a sales guy."
You have been since the beginning.
Yeah, since a child.
Yeah.
I even sold stuff to my mom to get a candy. You know, so this is how, and this is actually also what I like. I wouldn't do another job. Like sales is just like being with people, try to think of solutions, etc., etc.
And but it's so natural because since you started really with your own company, you understand that without sales, if you're not selling as a person who's leading a company or a senior in a company, then you don't have a company. So I love how you had this progression, and then that led you to this role at this other Dutch stand builder where you had a lot of success.
And a nice time as well.
And a nice time.
Yes.
Really nice colleagues. Of course, that was where you became acquainted with Vera because we worked together.
Yeah. At the end of the period that I worked with Chiara Dia, you were like, we worked together like partners. You did some jobs for us.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe let's talk a little bit about that because it's not so usual that in a Czech company you have very senior Dutch people running around. Maybe talk a little bit about why you decided to make that transition and kind of what you saw as the next step in your career and why this was kind of the right place.
I think when I was looking for a new challenge, I had a couple of opportunities, and I'm an adventurer guy. So
you don't say.
Yeah, so you invited me, we had a talk, the feeling was good, and the conditions were more or less the same everywhere, and you don't know what you get.
Yeah.
And I thought, before I didn't think about Czech Republic, like who goes to work in Czech Republic? You did.
I did too.
You did.
But we're probably the two only people.
And other people also told me, like, Roger, you're not going to work there. I had some opportunities in Holland, one in England. I still have a good relationship with him. And I thought, like, why not? I visited Prague. It was the environment. And I told you before that I saw Czech Republic as a little Germany. Quality, the whole package, but then smaller and more modest. I think German people are conservative. If I look at Czech people, they are modest.
Yeah, and I mean, we've talked about this many times, but when you were working at your former employer, and then you would subcontract work to us. I think you saw there was something of an opportunity because there was a lot of good work coming out of Bira, and of course it was being front run by Dutch companies, also by Dutch agencies, and if you could offer the source product that could give you an ability to offer basically a better value, right?
I think the big difference was I looked at the quality of the Czech companies, and not only yours, but in general. Possibilities were bigger for a better price.
Yeah.
So in this industry, it's all about pricing.
Yeah.
I don't want to say all, but
it's very important.
It's very important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was also when we had the interview. I thought, okay, I have to sell. So I have to sell a product where I believe in. And the other thing is, I have to sell it for a price that's acceptable.
Yeah.
And this made for me the decision to join your company, or now our company, or the company I work for, easier.
Yeah.
And I saw the possibilities. And I saw also the things that I could improve or wanted to try to improve.
Exactly. And I think Bira and even Ivona and I have benefited a lot from your experience and your insights, and we continue. And from there, so let's jump a little bit. So let's give everyone sort of the insights and Roger's perspective, because these are things that we value, and sort of how you see the industry, how you've seen it over so many years has changed. And that has impacts for how we improve the company, because we have to better meet client needs. But maybe tell a little bit about how you see it, how the industry was before COVID, which was this big event, I guess, in our industry, and after COVID, because we've talked a lot about kind of how you see things before and after those periods, and maybe just give a couple thoughts about the kind of the biggest takeaways you think, or the biggest.
I think nothing changed. A lot of people I had a podcast during COVID. If I thought it would affect the industry, and I said that time it will not.
Yeah.
Because the most important thing of doing business is face to face.
You were always a true believer of that. Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
So Teams meetings are convenient.
Yeah.
It made it easier, but there was no change. There's one change, and it's always this: if there is a crisis and they raise the price of gasoline, after they get it cheaper, they will not redo the price and say, "Hey, oh!" And it's the same in this industry. Everything became more expensive, and also they had to cover the losses. So our industry was hit the hardest.
Yes.
Everybody was complaining, but we couldn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, make some screens for I don't know what.
Pergolas.
Or building garden houses or whatever. But the only change now is everything got so much more expensive. And to save money, it's always on us. So we have to be more effective.
On us, you mean basically on the exhibit house to provide more value?
On a stand builder.
Yeah, the stand builder. Okay.
On a stand builder. And this is really true. So everything, all prices raised, but we still have the same budget.
Yeah. But I would say all price increases are not equal, right? Where do you see the biggest price increases for your
Organizers?
Organizers.
We don't have to talk about that. And all the tricks and all the new things and everything they try to figure out to gain more money. And the client has a budget, and the marketing manager goes to the CEO and says, hey, listen, we need some more money because the stand builder is getting expensive as well. And then they say, yeah, figure it out. No. And then they come back to us, and then we have to find a way to build smarter, more cost effective, etc., etc. But they have a monopoly, so they say, okay, rigging points 30%, parking 50%, time slots you have to pay now for the entrance.
Exactly.
To be allowed to build there.
You have to pay. Yeah.
So they make our life harder. I think the nice thing about this industry is that we always find a solution.
Yeah.
We are the Houdinis,
100%. That's what this business is about: finding solutions and being creative.
Yes.
Yeah.
But makes it fun as well. It's annoying because I would say, hey, listen, organizers, try to cooperate with the client, with the boot builder, and be less arrogant. We need each other. But
So that's interesting, and yes, we do see a lot of, we've talked about it a lot, where you see the organizers like squeezing us where we can. Maybe just taking, and that's on the organizer and the cost side. Maybe another trend that's also being talked about a lot is the idea of sustainability. And you've seen a long evolution in this trend of sustainability, and maybe just give us a couple thoughts on, how much of an influence do you think it is in our industry? How much do you think clients are thinking about it? And, are there things we can do? Maybe just give us your thoughts on that.
This is for me, this is a question that makes my stomach like, ugh.
But this is good because, like we said, sustainability is, people talk about it like a fairy tale, and it's good because you really focus on it like in practical terms.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what I'm interested in.
It isn't, and I think it's very important to be gentle to our world.
Of course.
Because this is the house we live in.
Yeah.
But I don't think people take it serious.
Yeah.
It's with how do I show sustainability, but also how do I get it done that it's sustainable, or how to save costs, how to save materials, how to reuse. And it starts from the beginning. It should start from the beginning to look at the solution right from the start, but they do it. That's the last thing.
Yeah, the last step that they think about.
Yes, the last step. We have to. We are a sustainable company. We have to show it, and we have to do something about it. No, you should think about it from day one.
Yeah.
And then you can handle it from the beginning, and it's much more easy. And
what are some of the ways you can handle it from the beginning? Because I think this is a really important point. Because I agree with a lot of clients. You get to the end, and then they're like, are the materials sustainable? Is this, is the transport optimized? And you're at the end. But so talk about me at the beginning. What could you do, or what would you tell clients if they really wanted to take this seriously?
I think that you should make. There is a difference between small shows that follow up, like you have a big company that does food. But also cosmetics, and then food is the main thing. They have 9%, so the big shows like Interpak, Fachpak is for this show.
These are packaging shows.
Yeah, packaging shows. And then you have the small shows where they have to be, for example, to packaging small medical stuff or cosmetic stuff.
Yeah.
So at the big show at the Interpark, they mostly have then like, let's say 100 or 200 square meters. And then they have the small shows that are like between 12 and 30. So I would advise those companies try to find every time the same space or same dimension. So now they think, oh, we have 5 shows. Okay. They only have 22, and it's a one side open. Let's take it. And the next is 3 to 7, but it's one side, 2 sides open or 3 sides open. So try to unify the space.
Yeah.
So then you can reuse even your graphics, but they don't. So then you throw away the graphics, and it's not very sustainable to throw them away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have other solutions for graphics, but yeah, in general, mostly what happens is they get thrown away. And this is also what you're talking about. If the organizers could coordinate and have like a standardized sort of mapping, then it would give exhibitors a lot more optionality to pick something that is similar, or at least the dimensions would be, okay, you have 2 halves, and you could put it together. But of course, organizers are trying to optimize, show floors.
It's again the money.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's even like this. I cannot imagine. I worked with tiles. So every tile was 30 to 30 centimeters, or 40 to 40. It's simple, always the same. If you look at the shows, then they make like my tiling floor in different pieces.
Yeah, exactly.
So one time it's 3 up to 5, then it's 4 to 6, then it's if you would think more about this and give the exhibitor the chance to pick every time the same dimension, it would make our job easier. It would save costs, time, and also it would be much more sustainable.
Yeah, in the end.
So then you have five shows with like 5 to 4.
Exactly. Okay, Roger, that's the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
and
thanks for having me.
I look forward to continuing the conversation on other topics, because you're just a wealth of experience, and we can all benefit from it. So I look forward to the next time.
Yeah, thank you. I love to express more of how I think about the industry. Maybe it's not the right way, or maybe it's not.
It's always the right way if it's Roger's way.